Senator Booker is with us virtually.
Thank you, Chairman Menendez. I've really appreciated the conversation and the range of urgent issues that my colleagues have brought up, from the critical necessity to have women leaders at the table, all the way to concerns about the Abraham Accords and how we can continue to see some stability and progress. I want to focus my concerns and questions really on just one area. There is a real crisis in the Horn on everything from the violence, as well as just the severe lack of medical care that's going on there. One thing I do have even a more particular concern with is just the severe state of food insecurity within not just Sudan, but a number of the countries in the region, South Sudan, Ethiopia. They're all facing what is this terrific imminent prospect of extreme famine-like conditions. And famine is not just for the sort of moral urgency of human life, but it also has a multiplier effect in the destabilizing effects it can have when it comes to the security situation of these nations and how it could spill over and be destabilizing to other nations, especially if more refugee crises are triggered. This is a region of great importance, obviously, to the United States, the whole Horn. It's critical to our security interests, our dealing with counterterrorism with al-Shabaab, its proximity to crucial international shipping lanes through the Red Sea, and obviously key military facilities there. So I just want to ask, and anyone on the panel could take this for me, what is the administration doing specifically to help the millions of people who are facing starvation in Sudan and frankly facing it throughout the Horn of Africa?
Thank you, Senator Booker. That's such a critical and important issue, and one that we are dealing with every single day. As you note, the Horn of Africa is experiencing tremendous instability and food security, and this is a consequence not only of conflict, but also of drought and other natural disasters, including locusts. I mean, it's under enormous stress across the whole region. Right now, there are more than 1 million people in need of food security, food assistance, because they face very significant food insecurity in that in Sudan. There are also, of course, refugees who have left South Sudan for Sudan and are now heading back to South Sudan. So you've got the compounding effect of people moving from one insecure environment to another, and the challenges that puts on the whole system. But we are working with our partners on the ground, namely the World Food Program, to meet the food needs of the people. We're working on some basic health and livelihoods work and addressing the most severe needs of malnutrition. But as you've noted, these are integrated problems that humanitarian assistance only addresses at the surface, and underneath we need to really get at the root causes, and that, I think, has been the basis of this conversation, trying to put the country on a better path and play its important stabilizing role in the region that it should be playing. Thank you.
Well, if I could just drill a little bit deeper down, because I've been in touch with the UN World Food Program. They have issued an emergency funding request. We're short to meet the global need from Afghanistan to the Horn of Africa, billions of dollars. And they are saying quite plainly, in order to prevent tens of millions of people, including millions of children in countries around the globe, and particularly in the Horn, from starving to death in just the coming months, we need this emergency supplemental funding. And something that is, it seems to be you're alluding to, is that this kind of mass starvation would make all of the situations regarding the politics far more complex, as well as we are seeing again in that region of Africa, the continued destabilization being caused by these challenges that are faced, as you said, from climate change issues to COVID-related issues to the military destabilization. So I guess just my pointed question is, do you agree that providing this funding, filling this funding gap with the World Food Program, should be a top priority if we really are serious about meeting the political instability of Sudan as well as other areas in the Horn.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Senator Booker. I mean, I spend my day looking across the world, and I see crisis in Afghanistan. I see food crisis in the Horn of Africa and in West Africa, the Sahel. I see enormous needs in South America with migrants and refugees flowing across the region. And the World Food Program is providing, and UNHCR, resources across the board. And they're stretched. They're stretched very, very thin. So I would, of course, be an advocate for more humanitarian assistance, given all of these simultaneous crises that we're facing and the integrated nature of many of these crises, particularly in the Horn. Thank you.
Well, I'm grateful if you're saying that. You could look at Burkina Faso, one of our globe's poorest nations, its political instability right now and the extreme poverty there. These issues are very much interrelated. I'm grateful for Senator Menendez and Senator Coons' leadership in trying to help us to meet this massive gap. It is clearly proven that dollars invested in the World Food Program, helping people where they are, to feed them where they are, actually save multiples of the resources necessary if those famines end up triggering a crisis in migration and more. This is a wise investment of money for political stability, for national security, not to mention the humanitarian, the real human crisis of millions of children that will die if the U.S. fails to act. So I appreciate your testimony, and I thank you, Chairman, for the time.
Thank you.